A wedding ceremony is a much anticipated event a young couple and their families look forward to before beginning their lives together. In some countries, there's a long-time custom of a dowry exchange, which is a large sum of cash or expensive gifts from the family of the bride to the groom. In India, however, when the dowry has run out, the trouble begins for the bride and her family, and the result is commonly called bride burning, or which ultimately concludes in what is known as a dowry death. The crime of bridal burnings, which often goes unpunished, are the result of the groom's inability to leverage more financial gain from the bride's family in the commonly arranged marriages in India. When I began researching on the subject of bridal burnings in India, I was startled to learn that the young Indian brides today are treated as mere possessions and are murdered by the men that they married. I will be informing you of the basic steps that are taken in India's arranged marriages, the main reasons these marriages result in bridal burnings, along with the details of the crime, the laws that have been put into place, some alarming statistics about bridal burning, and why bridal burning continues to be an issue for the people in India. I will begin by telling you the basic steps involved in arranged marriages in India. Up to 90% of the marriages in India are arranged by members of the family, according to ABC.com. In order to take some of the financial burden off the family, the parents of the young women are motivated to get their daughters married off. The parents seek out eligible men who would be suitable husbands for their daughter. This can be by way of acquaintances, newspaper advertisements, and with today's technology, even the internet. As a token of appreciation and to help finance a new couple, the parents offer the groom a dowry of cash and expensive gifts for taking their daughter's hand in marriage. At the point the couple is united, the bride becomes a member of the groom and his family as a whole. Now that I've given you a brief understanding of the marriage arrangement, I will tell you the steps that lead up to the crime and the details, though graphic, of the bridal burning. When the monetary gifts have run out, the groom, and sometimes even members of his family, will begin to feel as though they are entitled to more money or items of value from the girl's father. The requests for more finances are made directly and sometimes through the bride. When the requests are not met, the bride is harassed and beaten by her husband and members of his family as well. When the escalating beatings and requests don't give the groom and his family the desired outcome, the tragic accident is sure to come soon. The crime is typically carried out to appear like a cooking accident. The young bride, while wearing her traditional dress called a sari, which is made of highly flammable material, is held prisoner in her own kitchen. She is doused with kerosene and set ablaze. If she doesn't burn to death, she can burn so badly she will succumb to infection and then die anyway. This accident leaves the grieving groom single and free to marry again. I've just shared with you the events that lead up to the bridal burning as well as the graphic description. And now I will share some of the Indian laws that are in place and the alarming statistics about this crime. The Indian laws that have been put into place were done followed by a lot of pressure and outrage by the people of India to protect against such inhumane acts. The Indian Dowry Prohibition Act was put into place in 1961, which prohibits an exchange of a dowry to the groom and his family. To make the law more severe, an Amendment Act was written in 1986. The amendment speaks to the idea of accidental burnings which occur within the first 7 years of marriage as being potentially unnatural. If it is proven that the groom or members of his family have harassed the victim or her family leading up to the death, a prison sentence will be imposed. Even with these laws in place, it is alarming to know that in 2005, it was found that a bride was set on fire every 100 minutes, according to theexaminer.com. In that same year, they they had 6,700 bridal burnings reported, and approximately 58,000 dowry harassment complaints were filed. It would seem that with the laws in place, as I have mentioned, the incidence of bridal burnings would be on the decline. On the contrary, I will explain some reasons why the bridal burnings are still an issue for families in India. As a whole, the people in India want to see the punishments for these crimes. They are willing to accept the Act of 1961 publicly, but privately they continue to exchange a dowry in hopes that this goodwill gesture will ensure their daughter's safety and well-being. As for the violators being punished for the Amendment Act, for the most part, only about 10% of the violations are ever reported. An even smaller percentage of these reports have been prosecuted. They have been cited as a lack of evidence. Several reasons have kept the other 90% of the incidents from being reported. Some are from fear of retaliation. Some feel that if they report the incident, they will be shamed. And finally, they fear the inability of marrying off some of their other daughters. Now that I have told you why all too often this crime goes unpunished, it's time to recap the information that I've shared. After learning about the arranged marriages, the demands leading up to, and the details of the bridal burning, the alarming statistics, the laws that speak to the crime, and some of the reasons so many of these crimes go unpunished, people in India want to see change, but unlike people in the United States, they appear to be bound by old customs and traditions, and they don't really want to make waves. Bridal burnings was once an unspeakable cultural norm for India. Human rights groups and special interest organizations have been putting pressure on the Indian government to address this disturbing crime and give value to the young brides of India.